Well, a very good afternoon. Something serious for us to discuss today, and of course we're getting right into South Africa's impending water crisis. Now, to start off with, we have to take a look at Cape Town's water crisis because that is the most immediate water crisis that we have, and indeed we're in dire straits at the moment. The big six dams, including the Theewaterskloof, are sitting at an average of only 23.6% capacity. Now, that of course is a big problem. Once you get down to 10%, which the Theewaterskloof Dam is at the moment, the water becomes very hard to extract and to use. So at the moment, we're at about 13.6% of easily and readily available surface water in Cape Town. Now, surface water extending around the country is contributing mainly to the Orange River through most of the western areas of the country and mainly towards the eastern areas, contributing to rivers in the northeastern parts of the country. So when you reach the coastal regions of the country, we're left with smaller rivers, and a lot of those are going to be perennial and non-perennial rivers, the difference between the two being seasonal. So as we take a look at the Orange River Basin, well, this consists, should I say, of most of that southern interior of the country and the southwestern interior of the country, meaning that there is very little space for water to move towards the coastal areas. This, in addition to our annual rainfall statistics, shows quite a devastating situation. We're going to start off by taking a look at this, which is going to be the 2010 to 2011 year. It's July to June, should I say. And this is the rainfall that we observed over that period. Now, the graph here shows the deviation from the normal historical amount of rainfall for that time of year. Areas in the blue are between 100 and 150% of their normal rainfall, so good rainfall experienced through most of the country. Areas in the lighter shade of yellow are around 100% the normal amount of rainfall, and the darker yellows start to get towards the less rainfall expected in the area. Now, this is for last year. This was for June 2016 to July 2017, the other way around, July 2016 to June 2017, should I say. And you can see a major problem developing in the southwest, a lot less rainfall than they would usually expect for that time of year. In the northeast, we were saved by good rainfall, where in 2015 to 2016, we were seeing quite a lot less rainfall in the eastern parts of the country. This is where we start to see the evidence of an impending crisis. This is the most recent rainfall statistics that we could find from the South African Weather Service. It's July 2017 to January 2018. Most of the country is falling below the average rainfall to around its normal average rainfall for this time of year. So as you can see, a water crisis is looming. This is South Africa's water security. Now, if we take a look at this, we can see it graded from all the way towards the western areas of the country experiencing the most water stress, towards the east where we see less water stress. However, the whole of South Africa is a water stressed area. We do not have any green areas, which would mean that we're not experiencing water stress. And of course, the highest water stress being in the Eastern and Western Cape. Now we start to get into projections, which is the worrying factor. This is a 2030 projection of our water stress. You can see areas marked in the darkest shade of blue-green here are going to be the highest water stress areas. This means that by 2030, these areas will be experiencing significantly higher demand than the supply of water available to these areas. Indeed, the whole of South Africa is expected to be under water stress. Some areas are receiving enough water to meet the demand, most are not. So this is what we're seeing. 2030 will see a 17% exceeding limit of our water demand over our water supply. So that means that there is 17% more demand than supply. We cannot fill the demand for water with the amount of water that we have. And this is based on a statistical average of rainfall, population growth, and rate of increasing supply. So as we've seen, the average rainfall seems to be dipping over recent years. If that continues, we are in serious trouble. So how can we combat the water crisis? Well, we have to combat that on three levels. We have to reduce our water usage, we have to reuse water, and we have to collect rainwater. First of all, we have to reduce our water usage, which of course Cape Town will very well know can be done with bucket showers and the likes of that. And then of course we have to reuse, which would be the grey water. As you can see, household statistics see uses of grey water in toilets. We can also use grey water in the garden, and grey water can come from several different areas. We can get that from taps and basins. We can also get that from showers, and then of course from laundry usage. usage. Finally, we take a look at our collection. Now, rainwater collection has been dealt with in a previous episode of Whether or Not, and as we saw then, and we shall explain now, it is very, very cheap and it is very, very easy, and you can scale this all the way up to a larger scale water containment and water catchment area where you can use the entirety of your garden water usage can come from Rainfall entirely free. That, of course, is where we're going to leave it for today. Something to think about there on Whether or Not.